This is page 182. It's the guided practice for lesson 7.2. Top of the page reads, find the unknown value in each proportion, and then it gives you some bubbles to solve these things. Whether you use these bubbles is not the important part, but let me show you what's happening here. To get from 5 to 30, you're multiplying by 6. So they want you to recognize that and put a 6 right here. And then they want you to recognize that if you multiply the second term in a ratio by 6, you have to multiply the first term in the ratio by 6. And you would do 3 times 6 is 18. So the answer here is 18. And in the second problem, they want you to recognize that to get from 10 to 5, you would be dividing by 2. So then you do the same thing to the first term. So you divide by 2 and you get 2 fifths. All right, let's move on. I'm going to use a whiteboard for these problems. I'm on number 3. The directions read, solve using equivalent ratios. Number 3 reads, Layla and Joe are two of the partners in a business. Layla makes $3 in profits for every $4 that Joe makes. If you wanted to right now, you could go ahead and write that down, because you probably remember from page 179 that we're going to set up a ratio. I'm going to set it up as a fraction, and I'm going to put the Layla terms on top. So I'm going to put 3, and the Joe terms on bottom, I'm going to put 4. And this word right here, equivalent, means we're going to write an equal sign. And then it goes on to say, if Joe makes $60 in profits, it's really important that you put 60 in the right spot. I'm going to put it right here. Now, why did I put it there? I didn't put it there because 4 goes into 60, because honestly, 3 goes into 60 as well. I put it there because it says if Joe makes $60 in profit, and my Joe terms are on the bottom, so it's really important that you get that in the right spot. The rest of the question says, how much profit does Layla make? I'm going to go back here and I'm going to analyze this problem. I'm going to do the same thing I did in numbers 1 and 2. I'm going to ask myself, how do I get from 4 to 60? And it's 4 times 15. And so if I have to do 4 times 15, I have to do 3 times 15. 3 times 15 is 45. The answer is $45. I will go ahead and, you've seen that answer now. I'm going to clear my board. I'm going to move this over. I'm going to do number 4. Hendrik wants to enlarge a photo that is 4 inches wide and 6 inches tall. The enlarged photo keeps the same ratio. How tall is the enlarged photo if it is 12 inches wide? This one you could draw a picture. This would be actually a really good one for a picture. But I could do the same thing I did, or I could just set up a ratio. My 2 dimensions, last time it was Layla and Joe, this time it's wide and tall. And the key to this problem, to not getting it backwards, is to set it up and keep everything in order. So my wide is 4, and my tall is 6. And that's going to be equal to, and this is where you have to read carefully, how tall is the enlarged photo if it is 12 inches wide? So I'm going to put that on as my first term, because it says wide right here, and wide is my first term. So then I'm going to do a math fact. How do I get from 4 to 12? I multiply by 3. So I do the same thing to my second term. I multiply by 3, and I get 18. If you don't get 18 on this, it's probably because, and it's going to be 18 inches, I think. Double check that. It is inches, yep. 18 inches wide, or 18 inches tall. If you don't get that right answer, if you disagree with my answer right now, it is because you set it up backwards, and that is really easy to do. All right, let's move on. Now, the directions here, it's really important that we read these. The directions here say solve using unit rates. It's pretty important that you understand the different strategy here. It's kind of the same math, but it's a different strategy, and I will show you why. A person on a moving sidewalk travels 21 feet in 7 seconds. You could write that down right now. 21 feet in 7 seconds. The moving sidewalk has a length of 180 feet. If I went like this, and I put 180 right here, and it's going to be feet, and I want to show you why. Because the feet we decided is the first term, so they have to be on the same, the same row. They each have to be on top. Now, if you try to finish this problem, and then it says how long will it take, so we don't know the answer. We're going to go like this. Oops. We're going to go like this, and we're going to put a question mark here. If you try to multiply 21 directly by 180, it doesn't work. If you try that, and this is not the way, we're not using calculators to solve these, but I just want to prove it. 180 is not divisible by 21. You can't just do that. You can't just multiply 21 to get to 180. So you're stuck here. I want to remind you, when you get stuck on this, to go back and instead of trying to multiply 21 to get to 180, we're going to find the unit rate. So what does that mean? It means I'm going to simplify this right here. 21 and 7 share a factor of 7, so we can simplify. So instead of multiplying directly to get to 180, I'm going to divide. So I'm going to divide these by 7, and what do I get? I get 3 feet per 1 second. And this is a reminder of what a unit rate is. A unit rate is when the second term is 1 unit. This is a unit rate. And that's what the directions asked. Now why did I do this? Because now I can finish the problem. Watch. I'm going to bring this term down. It's going to be 180 feet over blank seconds, over question mark. And I can now finish this problem because 3 goes into 180 60 times. It's kind of like 3 goes into 18 6 times. So 3 goes into 180 60 times. So if you multiply the first term by 60, you have to multiply the second term by 60. And that's super easy. 1 times 60 is 60 seconds. And that's the answer, 60 seconds. Alright, so let's check out the next one. Number 6. In a repeating musical pattern, there are 56 beats. 56 beats in 7 measures. How many beats are there in 100, or how many measures are there in 104 beats? So notice I put my terms, beats up top, and measures on bottom, and I don't know how many measures there are in 104 beats. And the first thing you should always check is, can I just simply multiply 56 by something to make it 104? And you can't, because if you multiply 56 by 2, it's not 104. So you're stuck. And just like on the last problem, when you get stuck on this, what you need to do is find the unit rate. In other words, we're going to simplify. Can you simplify 56 and 7? You can by 7. So if you divide 56 by 7 and 7 by 7, if you do the denominator first, 7 measures divided by 7 is 1 measure. And if you do 56 divided by 7, you get 8 beats. Now what we're going to hope is that 8 can be multiplied by something to get 104. So all we have to do here is divide 104 by 8, and 8 goes into 104. 8 goes into 10 once, and 8 goes into 24 3 times. So how do you get from 8 beats to 104? You multiply by 13. So then you do the same thing to the second term. 1 measure times 13 is 13 measures. And that's the answer to number 6, 13 measures. Cool. Okay, that's the end of this video. The next video will finish the page.